So today I thought it would be fun to dip back into Reddit and check out some things that non-Americans find weird about Americans. Things that shock non-Americans. Reddit's always a cool place to go because it gives me people's opinions outside of my own, and then I get to reflect on them and see if I agree or not, which is just fascinating because I enjoy people and culture. Before I get into today's video, do be sure to subscribe, otherwise the next time you go to take a photo, it'll turn out blurry. What? How did that happen? It was perfectly still. So subscribe. Today's video is sponsored by longtime supporters of the channel, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a tough game. It's got 10 challenging dungeons, each with a super tough boss that requires specific teams and strategies to beat it. It's got an awesome fully voiced campaign with 12 unique locations and 3 difficulties for you to dive into. And there are 13 unique factions. Raid also has an incredible 460 champions, each totally unique, with over 200,000 clans fighting and competing right now. And with over 25 million players, Raid's the hottest mobile game around. An aspect I particularly enjoy is seeing who's online from my clan and getting to play alongside them with you guys. And this month, Raid's got their biggest ever update out. The main event is already here, the Doom Tower. It's a giant tower with 120 floors, a bunch of secret challenge rooms, and 12 seriously badass bosses to take on. And to help everyone get started in the tower, the Raid team are giving away a super special champion, Bulwark. He is the coolest. All you have to do is hit the link in the description and your free Void champion, an XP booster, 50 gems, some energy refills, and even an ancient shard as soon as you get in game. You'll find your extra rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only, and it's that easy. Just click the link in the description and I'll see you in the game. Thank you, Raid, for supporting this channel. And on with the video. Okay, the first one that we have here is election season starting nearly 2 years in advance. Yes! Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever been as involved in elections as I was this year, just as an observer, and it was absolutely exhausting.
Because later we're going to have more elections.
Here we have elections for the presidency like every 6 years, and it's definitely not as full on. We also obviously have general elections, and I'm usually notified about them because I'll get something through the door. Now, I've talked about here how there are a lot stricter laws on advertising and how you can promote your political party or your candidate here, so that is definitely a factor, but I actually cannot believe how long people campaign for over there. It's exhausting for the people involved, and it's exhausting for the people observing. It's just so full on. The next one says, as a Brit, the garbage disposal in the sink, that scares the life out of me. Yes. My first experience of the garbage disposal in the sink was probably at Thanksgiving when I messed up the turkey. Did I mess it up? I don't think so. I mean, it looked fine. Oh my god, it's so gross. Oh no. But my association of the garbage disposal growing up has always been in horror movies, when somebody drops a fork down it and then their hand in, and you switch it off, and then their hand gets sucked in, and then they lose their hand, but then their hair gets caught too, and then it just escalates and they die. Like, that is literally my point of awareness of the garbage disposal. We do not have garbage disposals here. If one of my friends had a garbage disposal, we'd probably call their house the fancy house, you know? It seems both convenient and also complicated because you can't throw everything down there. You can only throw food down there. And then you guys have explained to me before in comments how you have to clean it out or get somebody to clean it out for you. And it's just a whole other thing you have to do where you could just scrape your plate into the bin. So to sum up, not sure how I feel about garbage disposals, but they do shock me. Next up, somebody says, when I'm abroad, I speak at what I think is a normal volume, and people are like, why are you yelling? Are you drunk? Yeah, no, Americans do speak quite loudly, I have found. But in the defense of Americans, can I just say, Spanish people speak the loudest of all people in the world. When you are walking down a street in Ireland, you will invariably hear a Spanish student shouting at the top of their lungs. They have these yellow backpacks and they come over in groups because they're over for school trips or college outings or whatever, and I don't know, I guess they hand them these yellow backpacks at the airport because they all have yellow backpacks, but they are so loud and they definitely beat the Americans. And I don't know why pop culture always references the Americans, who are indeed loud, but not as loud as our own European Spaniards. The Spaniards are the loudest of the loud. A Spanish person can outshout an American person. I am putting it out there, and that is one of those controversial opinions because I've not heard anyone else say it. Spanish people are way louder than Americans. The next person says eating their fast food in the car in the parking lot of a fast food restaurant. Isn't that a thing though? Don't you guys have a thing where you eat in your car and that's a thing. Yeah, I can't say here we don't have any places where it's themed that you're supposed to eat in the car park, but I did recently watch McDonald's movie The Founder, and the whole idea of McDonald's originally was people would eat in their cars or eat on the move. Here I find when people get a takeaway to go, like a McDonald's to go or Burger King or whatever, they'll usually bring it back to their house or they'll just eat it in the restaurant. You don't see a lot of people eating it in cars, and that's not something I've actually thought about before I saw this thread, and that's why I find Reddit interesting. Other people notice other things, so yeah. I guess in America you do eat out of your cars a lot more than we do here. This next one says, apparently judging by recent posts here on Reddit, you send yourselves photos of yourself as Christmas cards, which is pretty weird. Yeah, okay, can I just once and for all address this thing that Americans do of sending people photos of themselves and their families all dressed up in a photo shoot for Christmas? I spoke before about how Kim Kardashian did it, and a couple of people said that they also did it and it wasn't that strange, but then other people said they would never do it. So I think I'm gonna have to put like a poll up on my Instagram or something after this video to gauge whether people do it generally or not there. Here in Ireland, watching movies and stuff, we are led to believe that you all have a photo shoot around Christmas time and you send out photos of yourself, which seems really...
God, I love myself.
Both nice, because then you have that nice photo of people that you might not see all year round or ever, but then on the other hand, I don't know, it seems a little narcissistic to take a photo of yourself and your family looking all perfect when, like, you know, kids usually have dribble down their faces, but not in those Christmas photos. In the Christmas photos, they look amazing. Is it a thing you do? Let me know below. Oh, this next one is so true. Americans expect to be shown around my house, including the bedrooms. Yeah, this is a thing we don't really do in Ireland. People in Ireland don't do tours of their houses. Maybe occasionally I'll have an exception to the rule, like if my friend bought a brand new house or something and that's a close friend, she might show me around her house. But in America, when I've gone into people's houses, they've actually shown me around their house, which is nice because it lets me be really nosy and see stuff. But on the other hand, I find it a little strange. They're like, this is my private bedroom. We just don't do that here. It's your private bedroom. This is the toilet where we wash our faces. I find sometimes you won't even ask to be shown around, but you just are. And again, as the person being shown around, I find it lovely because I like to see how other people live, but it is unusual to us. Ooh, this next one says U-turns and right on reds took a bit of getting used to. In Ireland, the U-turn is illegal. That is so true. The first time I was in America and the sat-nav told us to do a U-turn, I was like, because that's not allowed here. You do a U-turn. People do U-turns here, but you're not allowed. If a police officer saw you doing a U-turn, you'd get in trouble.
I'm a police officer too.
In Ireland, you have to go to the next place to turn off. You're not supposed to do a U-turn. So the fact that U-turns are built into American road systems is quite funny. Sometimes there will be places in Ireland where you can do a U-turn, but you can't just do a U-turn randomly in the road like you can in America. Obviously people look for a safe place to do a U-turn, but it's not allowed here typically. The right on red seems to be a great idea, but I would like to hear the percentage of people who get knocked over with that. I'd like to think most people are smart with the turn right on red because it seems like an efficient system. But yeah. Up next we have asking people about their race, or the typical I can't quite figure out what you are. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that one. I guess it's more culturally acceptable, socially speaking, because in America everybody is a mix of different things. In Ireland I have friends who have Irish accents but are of a different race or ethnicity, and I would never outright ask somebody I don't know what they are or where they're from. It's just not done here. Whereas in America, I guess because it's such a hot pot. No wait, you guys told me not a hot pot. Melting pot. It's a melting pot. You guys are curious about where people come from and stuff, but it's interesting how people just come out and ask over there, whereas over here it's just not really as socially acceptable unless you know the person very well, and it's usually phrased in a more delicate fashion than what are you?
I know what you are.
Don't say it.
Vampire.
The first couple of times I heard it, I was a little shocked, but it's just very regular there. It's a normal thing. Anything that advertises now made with real sugar or now made with real cheese, what was it made out of before? Yeah. Okay, so here in Ireland and throughout Europe, we usually have, I would say, stricter laws on food ingredients than they have in the States. So a lot of times you'll have something that looks like cheese, but it's not cheese.
Ew.
Ew.
We definitely have things here that aren't as authentic, but if something is supposed to be the main ingredient in something Irish or European, usually it will be the main ingredient. Honey is honey, and sugar is sugar, and milk is milk. Unless it's almond milk, and then it's questionable. And finally, we have as a shocked non-American treating a flag like it's some kind of sacred item. Ooh. Pledging to not let it touch the ground, folding rituals, etc. It's just a piece of cloth, all a bit cult-esque to me. Okay, not my words. Yeah, Americans do seem to treat the flag very differently to how we treat it in Europe. The flag, not just as a symbol, but the actual physical flag, which is very different to how we would treat it here. I mean, we're not going to get an Irish flag and like stomp all over it with muddy shoes on, but at the same time, it's not treated with such sacredness as the American flag itself. You also pledge allegiance to the flag, the physical flag, which, yeah, I guess when you think about it, it does seem unusual because in actuality, you guys know it's just a piece of cloth, but it's the symbol of what it is. I don't know if I agree with that person. I can appreciate the idea of it. It's never felt culty to me. Maybe the Pledge of Allegiance I've always found a little strange because I would find that weird or awkward if I was a person not from America in a room with people from America. I wouldn't really know what to do, but I don't find the actual flag sacredness all that weird. But maybe that's just me. Let me know below in comments if you are from America and you find that strange. And that's it for today's video. I'll see you on the other side. Bye. It seems both convenient. Next up somebody says eating their fast food in. Next up somebody says, when I am abroad, I am putting it out there. And that's one of those I am putting it out there. And that is one of, the next person says, when I'm abroad, I find sometimes you want, the next person says eating. This next one says, here in Ireland or in, and up. Okay, I mean, and that's it for today's video. And that's it for today's video.